Voices don't just speak, they echo through minds, shake comfort zone, and build bridges between knowledge and conscience. With this, Jai Hind and welcome to another powerful and impactful episode of Speak Podcast of Sunbeam Ballia, where conversations go beyond the surface and dive into the soul of society. Today, we are truly honored to have Mr. Parnab Mukherjee, a celebrated media analyst, a fearless investigative journalist, a great author, performance consultant, and one of the most inspiring alternative educator. I, Bhumi Soni, today's host of this special podcast. This is not just a conversation, this is a truth. Welcome, sir. Welcome to our today's podcast. First of all, in this beginning of this podcast, I want to ask you that how did your journey begin from being a media analyst to becoming a performance educator?
Print media was a fascinating experience. It still is. It still is, as and when I write, occasionally to respond to my friends who works for different places. But I felt one of the limitations of print media is the world was rapidly changing. We had a lot of things to write on, and we had a lot of things which we could not write on. Probably because theatre was, I wouldn't say a hobby. I never considered theatre as a hobby. It was still a passion, but a passion I could not pursue too much because of the demands of the job. So there came a point of time when I said to myself, when I told myself, when I had the conversation with the mirror, that if I have to do theatre in this life, I have to resign. And there is always this middle class aspiration of a salary, safe life, safe salary. And I've been working on print media for some time. Resigning was difficult, but not impossible. And I moved to my first love, which is directing theatre. So I became a performance consultant, not just directing theatre, how to shape theatre into classrooms, into teaching, into making lessons better, into trying to put lessons on stage. So I moved to performance consultancy after resigning from my print media job.
You led the concept of performance lectures. What inspired this unique blend of theatre, research, and social commentary?
See, lot of performers across the world, and lot of professors across the world, educators across the world, to be more precise. When they talk, they're not just giving a lecture. They're conceiving a performance. There are lectures which has elements of performance in it, which is so pronounced that the audience gets very involved in the lecture. I'm not saying that audience doesn't get involved with other lectures. Lectures are lectures. You are learning something, or you are debating something, you're agreeing with something, disagreeing with something. But there are lectures which are like a performance, which looks like, I won't say a play to you, but something that is unfolding. So I felt performative lectures, which was already happening, not always with that name, but was already happening, is a very strong social tool to use elements of theatre and enhance a lecture to make it more accessible and more direct to people. For example, this podcast. So performative lecture is somewhere in between. It's not exactly theatre. It has theatrical elements, and you are animating a subject and speaking to an audience. So it's like a confluence of two. That's a performative lecture.
Exactly, sir. That's such a brilliant fusion of disciplines. Your ability to create something to original is geniusly impressive. You often say that truth is the stage and knowledge is the script. In today's world, where education is mostly about degrees, what would you say to the young learners?
See, the problem with The fundamental problem with today's education is that there is a huge disconnect between text and the field. There is one thing called studying poverty in economics. There is one thing called experiencing a family of a farmer who has committed suicide. There is one thing called reading about, say, labor as a metaphor, maidservants, cleaners. And there is one thing called spending time to study the way they speak the language. So, in this disconnect between field and text, we get so obsessed with the text that the field becomes more distant. We get more distant towards real people, real faces. They're all textbook material. They're people we don't live by. So I think if there's anything I have to observe is, there is a very important lesson to be learned from very visible people who are invisible to you. Suppose you come to school at 7 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning. 2 hours before you come, a bunch of people come to your school and see that all the bathrooms are cleaned. A bunch of people come to your school and clean every room. Look at this workforce. They are so invisible to all the students. Students, when they come to the school, they find the fans working, they find the classrooms clean, they find the bathrooms clean. Now this invisible workforce, that doesn't come into my literature, that doesn't come into my physics. We unfortunately think that our text literacy is something to be celebrated. Sometimes looks at skill literacy and says, oh, illiterate. So I think where degree education sometimes gloriously fails is, utterly fails is. So I think a time has come when we become either more insensitive or we do something about it.